Z85 Drew here, back with another video. No, I'm just playing. I'm gonna be taking this channel hostage for a brief moment while I explain to you guys what I'm doing to the engine bay. Pretty much where I'm at, I'm just trying to have it set up for primer. I'm gonna be primering it tomorrow. Today's Thanksgiving, so I'm just spending a little bit of my night in the garage just trying to get everything finalized, prepped, and cleaned. Hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving, by the way, too. Hope everybody has safe travels and got to spend time with their family and just have a good day, good dinner, good meal. Or if you eat at lunch, that too. So as far as where I'm at, I have everything pretty much seam sealed up. Have the glazed putty sitting on there. Got to do its final sanding. Couple more spots where I got to add a little bit of filler, but I am pretty satisfied with the way that it's coming out. I also have to make a couple brackets that are last minute, but I'll weld those up real quick, no problem. And yeah, here it is. So pretty much what you guys saw in the quick little time lapse was me sanding off all the glazed putty, getting everything all feathered out. Didn't want to keep that part long just because sanding sucks. A lot of people don't like sanding. I don't even like watching people sand. When you've been doing it for a while, it kind of just, it's a headache. So, but if you guys are wondering also too why, on strut towers or like most of the sections, why I didn't block it, that's just because, the strut towers, they have a lot of, waves and pretty much curves from the factory. So I don't want to put, just a glob of Bondo and make everything like super flat because it takes away, I guess for me, the aesthetic look, just having it look like that instead of, having everything pretty much like, what they call shaved, which I'm not opposed to shaved engine bays. They look super, super clean, but just my setup, this is pretty much what I want, and I don't feel like taking the time to really make it completely seamless. Also too, for the products, if you guys are interested in it, if you guys are sanding your own engine bay or whatever the case is, pretty much for the seam sealer, I went to my local paint supply store and I picked up SEM product. It's a 29362. So that's this right here. This goes into a caulking gun. Not gonna lie, seam sealer kind of sucked. Didn't really come out exactly how I wanted to, but didn't come out terrible, per se. And also too, I'm gonna be painting it, so you'll hardly even notice it. There's not much, so it doesn't look too bad. As far as the sandpaper, I use Duragold. So Duragold, I get that from Amazon. I think it's $25 for a roll. An entire roll pretty much will knock you out through the whole engine bay. And start, with the low grit, and pretty much you just work your way up until the product that you want, to primer it at. Typically, I like it at 400. To lay the primer, and then after that I'll sand it again with 600, and then that'll be pretty much ready for the base coat. As for the body filler, I'm using it's a brand called Tekkenfill. Actually, at my local paint supply store, this guy recommended it to me. He told me that it's pretty much good as like the top brand products, but it's just kind of off-brand, or said something like that. But regardless, it's a lightweight filler, works out great, worked great, sands great, blended everything great. I'm actually pretty satisfied with the way that it came out. It is a very workable product. So for those of you that want to paint your engine bay at home, this is pretty much like a budget-friendly way to do it also. And also I just wanted to explain what I meant by feathering out like the filler and the glaze putty and stuff like that. Because I'm not actually blocking it and I can't get it to come out flat, there'll be chunks missing and etc. What I did was you just sand it with your hand by hand up until you feel it kind of like feather out. And when you feel it with your hand, you'll see in the time lapse, I'm constantly feeling it, just making sure that it's completely like seamless per se. By no means also too, I'm no professional at painting. I've done a lot of paint work, but I won't say that, like I'm a painter. Decent, but not great. So if anybody, has any tips or like whatever they want to throw my way, that works too. I'm always down for, constructive criticism. So the paint gun kit itself is, $49.99, so it's 50 bucks. And then you just have to get, a fitting water to air separator for your compressor and then a regulator. I think all in all, I spent around $73 for the paint gun setup. Comes with 2 guns. It works great. I've always had great finishes with this gun. I painted, several bumpers, engine bays, etc. And they've always come out pretty damn decent. So for the primer, I'm using, it's called Vintage DTM, which DTM is direct to metal surface, which, 95% of that's pretty much bare metal. It is a somewhat of like a filler primer, so it's gonna fill in, any imperfections that I missed, or small little pinholes, or whatever the case is, and it's gonna fill that up nicely. After that, there's gonna be kind of like a texture to it, so you're just gonna have to sand it out. Which I'm gonna sand it out with 600, and then I'll be ready to shoot it. Probably should have read the instruction label.
What did he say? What's good, y'all? Welcome back. As you can see, it's another day right now. I know you guys haven't seen me really this entire video. My boy's been filming the whole thing, so please drop a like on this video because he's been doing a pretty good job, as you can see. But recapping of what you just saw, he put some undercoating under. As you can see, we have a lot of masking tape on right now, but he undercoated the whole thing. We primered the entire engine bay, and then this morning, you guys didn't see, we already wet sanded it, so it is completely smooth and ready for the paint now. So as we're about to do right now, we're gonna go ahead and paint it. I'm gonna show you guys what he's gonna be using as far as products, and yeah, we'll go from there. So again, drop a like on this video. Hope you guys are enjoying.
All right, first thing I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be mixing up the base coat. Always remember, you know, before and after you start painting, always clean your gun. The day after you're gonna go shoot it, you still might have a little bit of debris or, you know, loose stuff in there, so it's always good to clean it out. I use Prep Wall, works great for me. As for the base coat also, I'm gonna be using, it's a bright white. It's pretty much, you know, a white that has no other pigment in it, just straight white. And then we're gonna be using a purple pearl. And then we're gonna be using a wet show clear coat. This is all from Auto Paint HQ. You know, I got it online on their website. It was like 200 bucks, and apparently it's, you know, show quality paint, so we're gonna see how this works out.
So as you guys can see, boy finally has the paint down. So now it's time for the pearl, and bro, take a look at this shit. Crazy. We're gonna go ahead and lay this down and show you guys the result. So we just finished painting, cleaning up, everything like that, and I'm just in awe right now just looking at this thing, especially like knowing that he painted this thing in the garage with the conditions that we have right now. But enough talking, let me just show you what we're working with right now. So you guys can see this thing is looking fresh, and we have all the lights on, as you can see, so it's gonna look super white right now. But once you start turning off lights, you can really see the flake and the pearl. This thing is crazy. Like, it went from this to this to this. Like, it's just crazy.
So like Julian said, we're dealing with, you know, some pretty rough conditions. I pretty much put too much into one day basically, and this was a lot to do. You know, it's multiple coats. I did, you know, 3 coats of base coat, 4 coats of pearl, 4 coats of clear, and, you know, just with the intervals, and it's starting to get cold, and I didn't even pay attention that the ground wasn't wet anymore, and started kicking up some, you know, debris and dirt in there. I'm a little bit heavy with the pearl. Got, you know, a couple runs here and there, which luckily they're like in the perfect spot because they're gonna be covered by intercooler piping, so I don't even think I'm gonna wet sand it out or anything. I think I'm just gonna leave it as is with the outgun finish, and I'm actually really satisfied with the results that it came out with.
With all that being said, I think today's video is pretty much over. If you guys can, drop a thumbs up on this video for my boy. He filmed probably 90% of this, and I was just the one editing it, and he did a really good job. So drop a thumbs up for that. Also drop a thumbs up for this, bro. This turned out amazing. I really don't think that this could have turned out any better than it did. Again, with the conditions that we have, doing it in the garage, it's cold now, so it turned out amazing. If you guys can, drop a thumbs up, follow my homie. His IG is gonna be right here, and then stay tuned for the next video. He's gonna be doing some suspension stuff, and as well as getting the engine back in the car with the new clutch and trans setup. So if you guys are interested, stay tuned for the next videos. Other than that, we're out. Peace.
I don't know when you're ready. When are you ready? Right now? Oh, you ready right now? Oh, fuck.
Hey. All right.
Wait, you still going?
Yeah.
It's pretty much, you know, a white that has no other pigment in it, just straight white. And then we're gonna be using a purple pearl. And then we're gonna be.
So.
Oh, you still just gonna keep it rolling?